Grace and peace to you from God, our Creator, Jesus Christ the Son, by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Today is my mother's birthday, and to honor her, I'm going to tell you a little story about her and I when we were young. My mom went back to school when I was really little, when I was in like kindergarten, maybe preschool. She was a nurse, and she went back to school to become a special education teacher. And my dad is a big bowler, as I think I've shared with some of you before. So there was always one night where she would have to leave us at the library for like a half an hour until my dad got done with bowling. And the bowling alley was right next to the library, so it was really, really close. And this used to kind of unnerve me a little bit. And one day she told me that she was going to stay at the library the whole time. She wasn't going to go home, which was unusual. She didn't have class that night. So she said, but I'm going to go look around and get stuff for school, so I need you to stay here in the children's section and I'll come back and find you. And this library was really small. It's probably about the size of this whole space to the front and back, so not big. I did not follow directions. Surprise, surprise. And I wandered around, and then I couldn't find my mom. And so, being self-sufficient, even at a young age, I went to the librarian and I said, I can't find my mom. And she said, do you know your mom's name? And I said, yes, her name is Jill. And she said, what's your last name? And I didn't know my last name. I knew my mom's name was Jill, but I didn't know my own last name. So clearly I was not doing so good in preschool. And so over the speakers, they called, Jill, your daughter is trying to find you. Please come to the desk. And so still to this day, my mom likes to tease me that I'm the only kid that got lost in a library and could not remember my own name, who would then one day work in libraries for years and years and years. So I was lost because I did not follow directions. I did not follow the rule my mom had made for me, and I was lost. And so someone in the community helped me be found. Now, granted, I probably could have just gone back to where my mom told me to be, and she would have found me, and I would have been okay. I could have kept looking for her, but instead, someone else helped me be found. That is essentially what's happening here in this story with Jesus and the sinners and the tax collectors. Now, we're Lutherans, most of us, so we know that everyone is a saint and a sinner. But when the Bible makes a point to say the sinners, we're talking about some really scandalous people. We're talking about prostitutes and robbers and people who have committed crimes, people who are suspected of violence. This isn't your 5-year-old sinning because she didn't listen to her mom's rules. These are some hardcore sinners. And they have come and asked for help, just as I went to the librarian and asked for help. But instead of the librarian helping me, the Pharisees and scribes, the people who are supposed to help the sinners, they grumble. Oh, not these people. They didn't follow directions. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so Jesus comes to them and takes care of them. Jesus does what the Pharisees and scribes were supposed to do, but did not do. What would have happened had that librarian not helped me? Not in the big scheme of things. Eventually my mom would have found me. It wasn't a big space, as I shared. But for my self-esteem, as a young person needing help, to go to someone for help and not being able to get that help, that would have really been hard for me. It would have been hard to be rejected. I would have been embarrassed. I would have been traumatized. I might be less likely to ask for help in the future. And that is exactly what has happened to these sinners and tax collectors. They have come to the church for help, and the church has said, no, you've made one too many mistakes. You don't get the good news. But Jesus finds the ones who are lost. I learned something about shepherds back in Jesus' day. Shepherds would work together. An average flock had about 100 sheep in it. So this illustration of the one of the 99 walking away was actually pretty standard of that time. But shepherds worked together. If you'll remember when Jesus was born, the shepherds, plural, were watching their flocks, plural, by night because they helped each other. They stayed together in the community of other shepherds, and they kind of watched out for each other. So that way when one sheep would go astray, because there were not enclosed pastures then, they would say, hey, can you watch my flock while I go and chase after this other one? I saw that happening a lot at the fair this week. Hey, will you watch my other kids while I go and try to find Wyatt and his money? Everyone knows Wyatt, so I'm not. Poor Wyatt. It takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to help a child find their mom. It takes a community of shepherds to watch over a flock. And it takes a community of faithful to help find the lost. The good news always is that Jesus is going to search and find us and seek us out. No matter where we go or what we do, no matter how grave our sin, whether we're breaking our mom's rules or doing a sin so bad that our scripture can only call us sinners, no matter what our mistakes are, Jesus is going to come and find us. But then, what about the rest of the flock? Who takes care of them when Jesus is searching for the people we rejected? That's our job. We grumble and moan about people who have made mistakes. Oh, they got themselves into this trouble. They should have made other choices. If only they had done X, Y, or Z. If they hadn't made that choice, they wouldn't be in this predicament. If only they had listened to their mother. If only, if only, if only. We have a million excuses about why that person does not need our help. But Jesus is going to find them anyways. So why don't we help Jesus in the process? When the one shepherd goes for the sheep that are lost, he's trusting that the other shepherds are going to look over his flock. My mom trusted that she could leave me in a library because she knew that there were other adults there who would watch out for me week after week until they could come and my parents could take me home. Jesus can do it all by himself. But he invites us to join the process. He invites us to be a part of the salvation that he offers the world. He invites us to take care of the flock while he searches for the sheep that has gone astray, the worst of the sinners, the ones that we grumble about because they make us uncomfortable. Jesus asks us to hold down the fort, to watch over the flock. Jesus does this because Jesus trusts that we have something within us that is greater than our biggest sin. Jesus believes we can be a part of the salvation of others because Jesus sees our good when all we see in each other is the bad. Jesus looks at you and all of your mistakes and all of the bad choices that you've made and all of the times you have gone astray and says, you can help me save other people. You can make a difference in this world despite all of that. I just ask that you show the other sinners the same love I've shown you. What would have happened had that librarian not called my mom over this week? I would have been fine. My mom would have found me. I would have found me. But I remember that nice librarian. And when I was 15 and needed a job, I decided to go back to that same library and apply. And I worked in libraries all the way up until I went to seminary. And I believe it's because of the hospitality that one librarian showed me when I had sinned and not done what I was told. She made me feel welcome and safe when I had messed up. And it shaped my life. She was the shepherd that looked after the 99 while Jesus chased after the one. You can be that person for someone else. that you have that ability to be